Hi, everybody. Joel Sharpton here, and we are going to be talking about adding your YouTube to your podcast, adding YouTube to your podcast, and why you should. I am a podcast editor and consultant. I've been podcasting myself since 2012. I've been editing for other people and consulting on their podcasts since 2016, and I've been in radio since 2004. So I know my way around audio. Why in the world would we want to fool with video, though? Well, it's pretty simple, honestly. YouTube is Google's answer for podcasting. This isn't something that's coming. This is something that's here already. They've abandoned Google Podcasts and integrated and promoted podcasts onto YouTube. It's not speculative. It's happened. So we're reacting to this. If you haven't already started this process, you're reacting to this behind the news, not ahead of it. Why do we have to? Why do you want to fool with YouTube for your podcast, especially if you've traditionally been an audio only or audio first podcast? First and foremost, it's the number one search engine in the world. When someone is searching your topic or niche or a question about something that you've answered in your podcast, especially if you're a business focused podcast, YouTube is where they're getting those results. And even when Google is actually the number one search engine, and depending upon whose stats you look at and which quarter you're talking about, YouTube occasionally falls number two behind Google itself. But even when that's the case, Google owns YouTube. So they're serving YouTube results in their Google results as well. It's also the number one podcast platform. And we don't like to think about this, especially if you're an audio only or audio first podcaster. You don't like to think about this because you don't listen to podcasts and YouTube. But for most people, the vast majority of human beings on the planet, whether or not they listen to podcasts is a question. Whether or not they ever use YouTube isn't a question. Now, whether they're active users of YouTube, whether they go to YouTube first for their entertainment, whether they go there first to answer a topic, that is variable, obviously, but the numbers don't lie. More people are listening to and watching podcasts on YouTube than in any other platform. So, what would this even look like? I'm an audio only show. I don't record any video. How does this process even work? Well, my show just went through this process. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. We started this show, Articulate Coven, back in 2017, actually. Anne Rice is my favorite author. The Vampire Lestat, her second novel in the Vampire Chronicles, is my favorite book ever written. I'm a big, big fan, and I always have been. So when she announced in 2017 that she had the rights for TV and movies back for her vampire book specifically, I was very excited. And I said to my wife, somebody's going to make a podcast about this TV show that's coming, and I'm going to be mad because it's not me. So I contacted some friends and said, hey, anybody interested in doing this? And we put it together. Our first episode actually went up. The trailer went up on January 6th, 2017. And the first full episode was up in March 8th of 2017. We did about an episode every month and then a little bit more rarely than that as we were preparing for, hey, what is this even going to look like and where is it going to be? And all the news was sort of rather slow as that process went on. Then in September of 2022, AMC at this point had the rights for the series. They had purchased both the vampire books and her witch books, the Mayfair Witch series, and they put out teaser for their forthcoming series in September of 2022. So we started our show officially at that point and went once a week from then on. We covered season one of Interview with the Vampire, season one of Mayfair Witches, then, which came out a couple of months later, and then just as season one of Mayfair began, this was February of 2023, our community asked for something. We had built a pretty active Facebook community. We've got a great Facebook group. It's almost 1,000 members now. And we had put out some wide ranging episode topics. We'd covered the first 4 books at that point of the vampire series. We'd also covered the first book of the Mummy series that she wrote. And we had covered both the Interview with the Vampire 94 movie and the Queen of the Damned film from the early 2000s. So we were getting a little traction. We were building something up there, and our audience, after that first season of Interview with the Vampire, as Mayfair was about to begin, we had several people that said, hey, could you put these up on YouTube? And I said, well, we're not making videos. We're just doing audio. And they said, yeah, I know. Just put the audio and an image up on YouTube so that we can comment on the episodes. That's what they wanted more than anything else. They said, hey, I don't do Facebook and I don't get to feed back to you directly. It's kind of a pain to email you. And then, like, which am I talking about, et cetera, et cetera. But if you put them on YouTube, every single episode gets its own automatic comment section. Okay, well, what would that look like? So I looked into it. Wave.co, WAAVE.co is the application that I use. They're a great online service. And right now, they've got like an unlimited package that I use. It's about $20 a month, is what I pay for it. And I can make as many videos as I want. And they've also got a great automated transcription service that I use for both myself and some of my clients, as a matter of fact. Um, so we did that. We took the audio from our episodes, we put them into Wave with this static image, our logo, and put a little red waveform on there that bounces. And that's it. We started putting the episodes up. This was in, let's see, February of 2023. We started posting those. And then in March of 2023, Mayfair Witches ended and we went on hiatus. And we actually took quite a break. My co host Ashley and I took almost a year off while we waited for the writer's strike and the actor's strike and production on season 2 of both of those series to ramp up. February 10th of this year, we finally came back. The other thing that we were doing along the way is social media shorts. Even before we were capturing video, we would take the audio, I'd cut out an interesting piece, a 30-second piece, a 60-second piece, a 90-second piece, and I'd do the waveform idea there, put on captions with CapCut was the software that I'm using primarily for that at the time. And we'd post those to YouTube. We'd post those to Instagram and TikTok. Although one of the hassles for me was that I was posting these to my personal media sites, right? And I didn't want to spam users. You know, I post a lot about my family on my personal media, social media sites. I post a lot about the podcasting business. I post a lot about, media consumption, but to go heavy into this specific, vampire series and the things that we were saying about it, particularly since we curse in the show. And I try not to curse on most of my regular social media that much anyway. I curse a lot on the show, and so does my co-host. So I wanted a separate place, which once we came back for season 2 of Interview with the Vampire, we did just that. We created TikTok and Threads account. We created an Instagram account and really dove in on the YouTube posting on their shorts feeds as well. So the turning point for us came as season 2 of Interview with the Vampire was going on. At some point, the very beginning of June, I realized we were over 200 subscribers already on YouTube. We were right at 300, and I thought, we haven't even really been talking about it. If I push this and promote it, and I tell people, I think we could easily cross 500. At this point in our Facebook group, we were probably 700 or so members, 600, 700 members. And I was like, we could get all of those folks to go and sign up for the YouTube, right? I mean, it's easy to hit subscribe. Even if you're not going to watch the videos there, that could add to our channel. And of course, why do you want to hit that 500 mark? 500 is where you begin to be eligible for the YouTube partner program. 500 subs and enough views, you can access their super thanks and their memberships and a bunch of things like that allow you to begin to monetize your YouTube channel. The real partner program begins at 1,000 subs. So we weren't there quite yet, but I was like, I could see it. The feedback that we were getting was amazing. We were already starting to use the comments on the YouTube videos in our subsequent episodes. We'd talk about the feedback that we were getting, and we would respond to questions. We'd answer questions and reply to comments and things like that in the show itself. Very, very cool and helpful, and just something that the other podcasting platforms, the standard podcasting platforms, didn't really offer. It's not that there aren't comments on anyone's podcast website or anything like that. Lots of podcast websites specifically allow you to do so, but nobody can comment in Apple Podcasts, right? Nobody can comment in Spotify on your episode and tell you what they thought about it. So the fact that you create this YouTube platform where people can do just that is very, very helpful. So that was the turning point for us. And I thought, all right, we got to double down on this. So we created Our first video episode, as we finished season 2 of Interview with the Vampire for the finale of season 2. That was our standpoint. We were like, okay, hey, look, we hung it out there as a goal for them. We said, hey, if you help us hit 500 subscribers by the time we get to the season finale, we'll do video for that episode and every episode moving forward. And they got us there. It actually happened, I think, right after we released or as we were recording the finale episode. I think we crossed 500. Um, so that came on July 2nd, our first video episode. We posted that during the finale of season 2, and it's been a big hit. We did over 5,000 views on that single video. And I can't tell you how cool it was seeing the reactions from our longtime listeners, where they were like, I'm so glad we get to put a face with the voice. Oh, it's like meeting my online friends for the first time. Very, very cool. Thank you for doing this. Lots of thanks, lots of thank yous from our audience. Now, you are serving a different audience when you move to YouTube, or when you add YouTube to your creations. One of the things that they almost immediately asked for was reaction videos. Are you going to do reaction videos? And it's funny, I was mentioning this to Mike, and Mike goes, what even is a reaction video? It's when you watch something and record yourself reacting to it. If you go and search reaction videos on YouTube, you'll find a ton of them, probably for some shows and movies that you really enjoy as well. I can't recommend enough finding a creator that looks like somebody you might enjoy, and a show or a movie that they're that you're into. Watch their reaction video. I think you'll get a kick out of it. I know I have, honestly, and doing it is really interesting too. We started reacting to Anne Rice interviews. Anne Rice went on the Charlie Rose show a lot on PBS back in the day, and so we found some of those interviews on YouTube. I pulled the videos down, gave them to my co-host and myself, and we'd watch them on a device and record ourselves on another device, and then I edited those together and posted those to our YouTube channel. Community posts too. This is another thing that YouTube does, and I think a lot of people don't even know about it until you start to try to build your channel. But you can make regular posts, like images and text and some combination thereof. You can put polls in there. And so one of the things that I started doing is every 4 or 5 weeks, I'd post a image and some text explaining what the upcoming episodes were going to be. What can people look forward to on our show? That's less important when we're in the middle of a TV season, obviously, because we're just going to react to each episode as the TV show comes out. But in the off season, where we are now, we're doing episodes about the books. We're doing episodes about movies from other franchises that are vampire related. And people want to know when they need to do that homework. When do I need to read the thing so that I can keep up with you? When do I need to watch the movie so that I can listen to you and react to how you're talking about it as well? So community posts are very cool. And again, another way to get interaction on that YouTube channel that you just can't get in any traditional podcasting medium. Um, just like I mentioned earlier, taking the comments, the questions that your fans and listeners post on your content, and being able to put it back into the new content, literally putting their comment on screen in a screenshot, very, very powerful, makes them feel great, makes you feel good too. Anyway, it's a wonderful addition that we've gotten by adding the YouTube channel. So the payoff starts to come with more subscribers. Like, we hit 500 with our first video, but then just a couple of weeks later, we had added another 200 subscribers and we were over 700. And it's because we were giving them those reaction videos. We were giving them interaction on the YouTube channel, talking back to comments, replying to other channels when they follow us or do something, going and commenting on their content as well as your own channel. um, Super important. The right timing for this kind of move is very important too. We got lucky. We took advantage of the finale of season 2 of Interview with the Vampire, and even more than that, SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con 2024, was this past weekend, and Interview with the Vampire and AMC's Immoral Universe had a big part in the Comic-Con itself. So there were all these videos and all these panels and all these discussions that we could respond to. The biggest thing was they dropped a teaser for season 3. Lestat is going to be a rock star in the new season. That's what happens in the Vampire Lestat novel, which they're going to be adapting in season 3 of this show. And so I responded first to the promo that they dropped, and then I responded to the lyrics video of the full song that they released from season 3. And both of those videos have gone through the roof as well. The initial reaction video to the promo is like 4,500 views, and the reaction video to the music video is a little over 2,000 views, I think 2.5 or something like that. So big results for a small channel, because people are searching for this content. People are looking for San Diego Comic-Con and Interview with the Vampire and the reactions to the information that they gave. This would be very true if you were a superhero show, for instance, and you're responding to the Marvel content. They just had a bunch of big announcements at San Diego Comic-Con. It's a great moment to jump in with your fandom and create the content that they're looking for. Be there when they want you there, Okay, a special event like that requires some special effort, and your audience will reward you. So, in a normal week, we'd post one full length episode and then maybe 2 to 3 short videos. The week of San Diego Comic Con, we posted one full length episode, 6 reaction videos, and 6 short videos as well. You got to take advantage of the moment. People were there, they were looking for this content, so jump in and give it to them. As you can see, when this screenshot was taken, our reaction video from let's see, this is for Entertainment Weekly's interview. It's 1.5K. That reaction video to the promo is 4.8. The reaction video to the music video is 2.6. And then the reaction to IGN's interview is over 1,000 as well. Ashley, my co-host, reacted to a Variety interview from San Diego Comic-Con. That's over 1,000. So again, it was a lot of work this week, right? I was really busy, but at the same time, the audience was there for us. What do we get though? What do you gain from doing all of this extra work? Well, first and foremost, you get the direct feedback. And for me, that's huge. I cannot tell you what it means to have a well-managed comment section for each individual episode. Every piece of content that we post now, people can go and feedback directly on that. They can even, YouTube makes it pretty easy. You can reply to a timestamp even, so that you can see exactly what someone is commenting on and how they're feeling about it or responding to it or what question they have about it. It is incredibly powerful as a creator. Monetization, obviously, super thanks is one of their new things, and we've actually got our first super thanks just the other day. We got a $4.99 tip on a comment because we posted one of those reaction videos. They were like, thank you so much for this content. So people can buy super thanks. They can buy memberships for your channel that you can set up through YouTube. And that's a pretty powerful way if you don't want to build your own YouTube, your own membership for your podcast. Ad revenue too, right? Like once you go over the 1,000 subscriber mark, you are eligible to share in the ad revenue. And it's not a lot, but what it means is that all of your content that goes there, anyone who is getting ads played against it, you're sharing in that revenue. And anyone who is a premium subscriber, a YouTube premium member, which I am, when you go and watch videos on YouTube as a YouTube premium member, your subscription part of it is going directly to those channels. So it is a direct way to thank the creators that you are enjoying their content. All of that is available through YouTube in a way that is just more readily fleshed out and more consistent than anything in the standard podcasting world. It really is a powerful thing that YouTube offers you there. And then new audiences is the other thing that I want to point out here. YouTube and podcast listeners are not the same. I told you earlier that YouTube is the number one podcasting platform in the world, and that's true. But many people, I would say most people who are active YouTube watchers would not call themselves podcast listeners, even though they're going to the same creators week in and week out and watching long form content or listening to long form content using the YouTube Music app, or if they're a premium subscriber, you can just lock the screen on your device and listen to the video without actually watching it. Those audiences are not the same as your podcast audience. And the folks that want to listen will probably still listen. We'll talk about that in just a minute. So all of this leads us to this moment, and this is a cool thing. This happened literally earlier today as I was getting ready for this presentation. We're there. We hit 1,000 total subscribers on our YouTube channel, and so we're now fully monetized. We've got access to all of their tools and stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun as we move forward. But you can see here, basically, I doubled our subscribers in a month of June. From June 1st to the end of June, we added 400 and change and doubled subscribers. And here we've done it again in the last month as well. Or excuse me, I added a little over 200 subscribers in June, and now we've added more than 400 in July. And that is because we have doubled down on the medium. We've put in the work, and our audience has responded. So how does this affect your audio stats? It doesn't. It doesn't affect them at all, not negatively anyway. I want you to look at two things here. These are the stats from Captivate.fm, great media host that I use, by the way, but two primary things that I want you to focus on. So these are the download averages over time, right? This on the right-hand side. This is per day, per 28 days, per week, per 90 days. That's over the entire length of the podcast. So from 2017 until now, per 90 days, we're averaging 3,431 downloads. But if you look at the last 90 days, 24,200 downloads in the last 90 days. Our audience has grown as the YouTube channel has grown, and they are not the same. People are finding us on YouTube, and then some of those people are preferring to be listeners, and so they are joining us as subscribers and listeners to our podcast. Others prefer to be YouTube viewers, and so they are hanging out on our channel. It's not one thing, folks. It's two great tastes that taste great together. You got to have your podcast feed. You want to be in Apple Podcasts. You want to be in Spotify. You want to be in Amazon Music, but you also want to build out a YouTube channel for your podcast, even if you're not doing video to start with. You want to be in both places, and you want to serve your audience wherever they may be. I'm going to hang out here on the live stream. I appreciate everybody. If you've got any questions or comments on what we've talked about, I'd love to answer them for you. And I cannot recommend enough that you do just what we did and get active on YouTube today with your podcast.